and welcome to Unity on the Valley. Everybody's going to get moving and breathing and singing this morning. We're going to start out with a medley. I thought these two songs fit well together. Carole King's Beautiful and I Can See Clearly by Johnny Nash.
You've got to get up every morning with a smile on your face and show the world all the love in your heart. Then people gonna treat you better. You're gonna find, yes you will, that you're beautiful as you feel. You've got to get up every morning with a smile on your face and show the world all the love in your heart. Then people gonna treat you better. You're gonna find, yes you will, that you're beautiful as you feel. And I can see clearly now the rain is gone. I can see all obstacles in my way. Gone all the dark clouds that had me blind. It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. I think I can make it now, the pain is gone. All of the bad feelings have disappeared. Here is that rainbow I've been praying for. It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. And you've got to get up every morning with a smile on your face and show the world all the love in your heart. Then people gonna treat you better. You're gonna find, yes you will, it's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day.
Excellent. What a way to start. Thank you, Claire. Good morning. Happy Sunday, everybody. Thank you for joining Unity of the Valley Spiritual Center's Sunday Cyber Service. And my name is Mark Sold. I'll be serving as your platform leader today. We do welcome back our special guest, musical guest this morning, Claire Van de Grommert. Thanks for joining us this morning with your beautiful melodies. We don't yet know when we'll be returning to our beautiful center, but we hope it will be soon. In the meantime, we greatly appreciate our speakers and musicians who are willing to join and inspire us on Zoom. Quick story for you. I went to go purchase a dozen bees at the pet store, and when I was checking out, I counted out real quick, and there was 13. I said, excuse me, there's 13 here, and she looked at me and she said, no, you get a freebie. So it's always nice to get a freebie. If you'd like to be added to our electronic newsletter called The Weekly Buzz, to stay updated, simply email us at info@unityofthevalley.mn.org. Likewise, if you have a prayer request for our prayer chaplains, you may submit it at the same email address. We also encourage you to subscribe to our Unity of the Valley YouTube channel, like our Unity of the Valley Facebook page, and visit our website at unityofthevalley.mn.org to learn more about us. We're blessed to have several volunteers who make this service happen digitally each Sunday. Let me introduce to you those who are sharing their talents this morning. Our daily word today is George Kotars. Sherry Johnson will be delivering the prayer box blessing and leading our affirmations. Special thanks to Deanna Reese, who makes our slides, and John Ruddy, who's serving as our moderator, the man behind the scenes who handles the audio and visual controls. And we appreciate everyone's unique contribution to our service. A few reminders for you. Unless you have a role in today's service, please keep your microphone on mute until the end. Likewise, if you're going to be multitasking while you watch the service, please do turn off your video so as not to distract other viewers. These controls are in the lower left-hand corner of your Zoom screen. Finally, please refrain from using the chat feature during the service as it distracts from the music and the message. We invite you to get comfortable, tune out any distractions, and let in the love and light. After the service, you're welcome to stay on to say hello to other Unity members and guests during our online social time. Your mics will then be unmuted. Now I'd like to introduce our speakers so as not to interrupt the flow of our meditation time. Our speaker today is Deb Mclean. She's a certified health and spiritual wellness coach and the founder of Trust Your Vision coaching programs. She's a motivational speaker, workshop facilitator, and luminary leader with Venerable Women. She has served as a spiritual care advisor for hospice organization, which inspired her upcoming book, Regret-Free Living. She is also the author of Trusting Life, All of It, and The Giving Space. Deb is a heart-based visionary affectionately called the Vision Lady by her friends and peers. She calls our meaning, purpose, and passion the secret sauce in our lives. Welcome and thanks for being with us today, Deb. We look forward to your talk, Thriving in Changing Times. At this time, we'd like to welcome anyone who's watching our Zoom Sunday broadcast for the first time. Please join me in this special blessing. We offer you peace, love, and friendship. We bless you, and we're glad you're here. It's now time for the reading of the daily word, followed by the blessing of the prayer box and the reading of our affirmations.
Good morning. Today's daily word for Sunday, June 28th, 2020 is will. Spiritual understanding guides my will. Each day, I use my will to make decisions big and small that affect the quality and direction of my life. Through the use of my human will, I may make choices out of fear or a sense of lack, or I may be driven by my desire for convenience, comfort, or the pleasures of the moment. The use of my spiritual will, however, directs my choices towards a greater awareness of my divine nature. As I grow spiritually, I use my will to shine my Christ light even more brightly. I grow in willingness to co-create with God as I release my willingness to do everything on my own. As I live more intentionally from my divinity, the sense of spiritual understanding draws within me and directs my will. I hereby command you, be strong and courageous. Do not be frightened or dismayed, for the Lord your God is with you wherever you go. Joshua 1:9. The word for today is will. Namaste.
Good morning. We're remembering that this prayer box holds an infinite number of virtual prayers. So I invite you to silently add your own names and the names of anyone in your heart or on your mind who may need prayer support. These virtual prayers are known and will be addressed by the infinite. We know the truth behind all appearances of disharmony is the divine and perfect presence of the infinite, which we call God. We call forth within all people the wisdom and strength, the love and peace, the wholeness and vitality of this perfect presence. We affirm that the requests in our prayer box and in our hearts and on our minds are being resolved in divine timing for the highest good of all concerned. We send love and light not only to these people and circumstances, but to our community, our country, and our world. May the love of God enfold us. May the peace of God uphold us. May the wisdom of God inspire us and help us to know in our hearts that all is well. And so it is. If you'd like to join me for the affirmation for the day, in the midst of awakening and uncertainty, I go with my soul, and my journey of transformation is fluid and gentle. And then if you'll join me for the affirmation for our spiritual center, we give thanks that Unity of the Valley is a prosperous, thriving, inspired, connected community. We are growing spiritually and manifesting our dreams and goals in an energy of love, peace, and joy. And so it is. Amen.
I'd like to remind you, whenever you see words on the screen, it's an invitation to join in. We're going to be singing the meditation song in the silence.
In the silence, there is a sacred place, a secret meeting place. Love is there. In the silence, where every color blends and every rainbow ends, good is there. In the light, now you'll find that you know peace of mind. In the silence, your path is paved in gold, and all your dreams unfold. Love is there, peace is there, truth is there, God is there.
Let's settle in, prepare ourselves for a moment of meditation and reconnection. Breathe here in your own rhythm and connect for a moment to your breath. Settle in to receive. I invite you to take a sweet and wonderful journey, one that you are already on, and now you're going to embrace in a more conscious way. This journey is to lengthen your cord of memory and to come back to yourself. So breathe in here deeply. Here you are having a joyful reunion with the choices that you have made to be here at this particular time on the planet. You are remembering who you are. Your body is breathing, your lungs are working, and your heart is beating. They need no help from you, so relax into this moment. You are becoming more aware that there is something about you that is of life, beauty, and eternity. You remember that your journey never ends and is always beginning. You are discovering and uncovering more that is within you and setting it free. Breathe in deeply here. Breathe in, relax, and remember, let go of the dust and the grit that you may have picked up along the journey. Allow it to be wiped away. Remember this, dear ones. Nothing is wrong with you. Nothing is against you. Everything is for us, one way or the other. Nothing is against us. The anxiety and the worry can be wiped away in a thought. We can find our place in the unfolding of this time and be inside of the discovery of good. Everything that we could hope for and desire is already given. We can explore it here, discover it, express it, and relax into it. Relax right now. The universe is in order and all is well. Give yourself permission to let all be well in your world. Everything is working together for your good. Set your gifts and talents, your powers within, set them free. Your body is breathing. Your heart is beating. It needs no help from you. Notice the fear, the grit and the dust from the uncertainty along the way as it begins to dissolve. Any anxiety and fear, any sadness or grief, it is simply unraveling. They are being transmuted into the awareness that you are waking up. Give yourself permission to really feel this right now, this waking up. Say to yourself, I give myself permission to fly in the realm of peace. I give myself permission to fly in the realm of joy, trust, and wisdom. Knowing that all of my needs are met, I give permission to relax into this freedom, this joy of knowingness and certainty. I fly, I flow, I relax in this dynamic good. I don't have to make it happen. I let it happen. I am awake. It's happening right now. I now let go. And I let it be all right to be all right. I relax into the endless journey. I let the healing happen as it will. Say to yourself, I let the healing happen. Repeat it again. I let the healing happen. I let the abundance of these times and events, I let them reveal the truth to me. I am guided, grounded, and directed by a living, moving flow of love. Remember, you are on a sweet and wonderful journey in which you are coming back to yourself. Come back to your true self, your authentic self, your original self. Relax into this. Feel your body soften. Say yes to this. Feel your whole being say yes. Now see the fire of the blue-violet flame as it washes your fear away and cleanses you at a soul level. The fire replenishes you with each breath of this blue-violet flame. Your wisdom and your truth are enhanced. Here is where you remember who you are and why you said yes to being here on the planet at this time. There is nothing missing. There is nothing wrong. You lack nothing. You are held and cradled by the divine that you are. Breathe here deeply in your own rhythm. Feel your breath and say yes when you exhale. Feel free to do that out loud. You have arrived. You have arrived, and so it is.
Birds flying high, you know how I feel. Sun in the sky, you know how I feel. Reeds drifting by, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for me. And I'm feeling good. Fish in the sea, you know how I feel. River running free, you know how I feel. Blossoms in the trees, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for me. And I'm feeling good, feeling good. Dragonfly out in the sun, you know what I mean, don't you? Butterflies all having fun, you know what I mean. Sleep in peace when day is done, that's what I mean. And this old world is a new world and a bold world for me. And I'm feeling good, yes I'm feeling good. Stars, when you shine, you know how I feel. Scent of the pine, you know how I feel. Oh, freedom is mine, I know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for me. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for me. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for me. And I'm feeling good.
Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Mark. You can take that slide down now. Thanks. Ah, so good to be here. See your beautiful faces. I brought an offering today because you are so beautiful. From my garden, this little piece of Mother Earth. Are you guys hearing me? Okay, good. Anyway, the last time I was here was not a Zoom, a Zoom morning. It was March 8th, and I remember it because a week later, everything changed. Everything got different. It got new. And some referred to that as chaos. And I find that when I say that word, I feel it really uncomfortably in my body. So I choose new or new normal because it makes me think. I feel like I become a thinker. I get curious. And when I'm curious, I'm not scared. And when we're curious and when we're thinking, we're expanding. And every moment of every day is easier. It's an easier way forward. So I think that our language is so important right now with all of the events and the times that we're in. Our language is emotional and it's vibrational and it's really important. So I will be choosing different words than some of that we've been hearing and feeling, and you may even realize in your own body that it feels different. So pandemic, or the Great Awakening, or the Great Time of Change, how does that feel to you? Pandemic, kind of a lower vibration, right? An awakening feels a little bit more of a high vibe. And I have been dreaming and remembering of this awakening for over 50 years. When I was a little girl, I was the oldest of four, and I found myself oftentimes by myself in nature, talking to what people, called imaginary friends, but we know differently, right? And I was never alone, though. I never felt alone. But I would sit on the swing, and I want to tell you the story about the Rainbow Children. I would sit on the swing, and on the third pump, I would go up into this rainbow. And there were all of these children, thousands, probably millions, all waiting for me, all expecting me. There was so much love and compassion, and I couldn't wait to go there. And every time I went, there they were. I thought this was the real world. Now I realize it is the real world. But then I kept coming back and moving back and in until I was told one day that I couldn't go there anymore. But I've never forgotten the feeling of what it felt like to be there, to be in that compassion and that liquid love. It was a part of my soul, and I was happiest there. It felt so natural to be there. And I've been waiting for that feeling. I've never quite gotten that feeling in this lifetime yet again. So I've stored that in the corners of my mind, and I believe that we are in this time right now. And I always pictured it as this subtle yet assertive, beautiful blanket of love that would just wash over humanity. I think that's what's happening, but I feel like we're in the gray area, right? We're in this area, and all that feels touchy-feely. It feels good, right? But we might not be feeling all of that right now. So I want to ask you for just a second here to just close your eyes and imagine the new world, the new way of being, the new way of feeling, speaking, the kindness, the compassion, the love, the original self. What does that look like? And what does that feel like in your imagination? And remembering as you're imagining this is your soul with you. Feel your body soften just at the thought of it. when we take out time in our imagination to visualize, we know what that is. That's manifesting. That's the law of attraction. There's no more important time than ever in our lifetime to be utilizing that gift, that technique, that skill, to be seeing the new world without all this fear and chaos. Seeing it that way, the way you just visualized it. It's warm. It feels good, right? But what's unfolding for us right now might not feel so good most of the time. How do we stand in the fire and not shrink back? That's my question to you. That's my question to me. How do I stand in the center of the fire and not shrink back? Maybe you have those days where you just want to escape from it all. Maybe you want to go to bed and wake up when all the bad stuff's over, when all the hard stuff's over. Me too, but that's not an option. There is no, you're either in or out. We're all in. It's a matter of how we're showing up inside of this. It's the workshop. This is great. It's the workshop of our lives. I woke up the other morning and I heard this voice say, Deb, you're in the workshop of your life. It's true. This is the workshop of our life. We're doing the work. We came here to do the work, and we're doing it. And I know that this is just the beginning. You know, seeing and feeling the world in this way, this is just the beginning. But there has to be a breakdown before there's a possibility of a breakthrough. We're seeing it. We heard. We maybe didn't quite believe it, that our healthcare system was imploding on itself. A breakdown. Our financial system is breaking down. Our social system is breaking down. Racism, breaking down. There's more. There's more. And this puts us in our heads, right? You ever find yourself just in your head and you got to take a breath and say, I got to get out of my head. Got to go back to the heart space. But something's shifting and you're going to find yourself more and more in your heart space. Think about before March. Think about the past years. Think about how you lived in your awareness, what it meant, you know, having aha moments. We'd have them occasionally. We'd have an epiphany here and there. Maybe they were far and few between. But now, what about now? Any of you dreaming, like really dreaming, remembering your dreams, vivid dreams? What about finding yourself in introspection, thinking, having more aha moments? Maybe you're having them daily. I know that I am. This is waking up. You know, we're always waking up. We'll never be done waking up. I mean, we're here in this life, this beauty, this eternity. We'll always be waking up, but we're doing it on a different level right now. And this is what our soul is doing. It's calling out to us in this way. Something that's really interesting, do you notice about time? It's really interesting to me that we're in a time, there's a pandemic, there's a health crisis, there's uncertainty, there's fear, there's dying, there's death, there's illness. There's all this time on our hands, but it's speeding up. I find myself saying, God, I can't believe that a week has gone by, or I talked to somebody thinking it was last week and they're like, we haven't talked for a month. And I'm like, you're right. Where's it going? You know, we always talk about time as an illusion throughout time, no pun intended, but we've talked about that. And I think we're really seeing the illusion of time right now. And we're having more wakeful experiences. But I hear we have to remain strong. We got to be warriors. We got to fight. I'm not fighting. Here again, language. Yeah, there's a way we find our strength, and we can be soft, light-working warriors, but we don't have to be fighting. Again, you know, I'm choosing grounded and relaxed, grounding myself into what's showing up. What's coming up for me personally, my own triggers, my own past lives, where I would stop and say, no, not now, not now. everybody. And for so many, there's so many people who don't know what to do with it. They want to create movement, they want to move forward, but they don't know what to do. We're here to hold a space for them. We're here to hold a space for their transformation. Some will transform and some will not. You've heard me say before, some will hear, some will listen with the ear behind the ear, and some will hear nothing at all. I'm not certain what will become of them, because that which you resist persists. What are we resisting? Ask yourself, what are you really resisting? In our humanness, we resist the emotion, the stuff that doesn't feel very good, the stuff that turns like a knife in our will center. Our will center. The word will today. We think we're resisting that, but we're resisting what is the big picture? What is the expanded consciousness? The bigger picture of this awakening. Let's not resist that. Let's not resist that. You know, I've been, as I'm sure we all have been listening to some of the same spiritual leaders around the world, Bruce Lipton, Dispenza, Greg Braden, Chopra, Deepak. They're all talking in a different way. They're talking in a different way. There's no in between. When I say we're not in or out, we're all in. There is no in between. We'll move into this blanket of newness, of love, of kindness, the original us, or we'll move into extinction. I'm hearing that conversation over and over again, because where we've been before this is in the gray area, and the gray area doesn't work. Does it? It doesn't work. It hasn't worked. There's so much unraveling to be done. Did we think that a pandemic would move in and move us into so many different levels of our being? It's so much more than a health crisis, right? And then in the midst of that, this wave of awakening of racism. And I call it that, but I asked my husband, who's an African-American man, what that is to him. And he said this. He said it's an abundance of new and old conversations. He said it's an opportunity to educate yourself. And we pray that this time in the history, that it's different, that it's really different. And, you know, as a wife and a mother and a grandmother of my beautiful dark-skinned family, and as much as I have been exposed to the culture and to racism, and inside of my white privilege, I cannot totally, deeply understand it. I've had to shift my conversations. I've had to live kind of in a duality and change my thinking throughout all of these years. You know, I had to educate my kids on police brutality, what to do if they were stopped. Yes, sir, no, sir, hands on the wheel, knowing darn well that didn't apply to me. I had to encourage them, you know, to stand up for themselves in racial slurs, which didn't apply to me and were coming from people like me. Very challenging. I never realized it until now. I'm feeling a relief that things are moving. And I say all this to say that we have to think about what that means for us, for you and me. I hear people saying, and these are conversations I've had with folks in Unity, a few different Unities, including my own, that I don't want to say the wrong thing. My intention is good. I don't want to say the wrong thing. So I choose to say nothing at all. And ignorance is bliss, right? No, not anymore. It isn't anymore. Or I'm listening to conversations of folks who reach out to their friends of color, wanting to support with the best of intentions and saying, I just want to know how you're doing throughout all of this, only to find out that they're put off a little bit, or maybe even told, please don't ask me that question again. I spoke to a couple of my own friends of color and family, and that question spawns a lot of emotions. I want to tell you something that my friend Celeste said to me. She said, I know that your intention is good, But this has been going on for 400 years, and it's been going on in my life for 58 years. You've seen me lose job opportunities. You've seen in my own presence of me being discriminated against. Why haven't you asked me this before? She goes, I get it. You want to support me, but do you really get it? She said, no one offered an ear of support before. We are heartbroken. We are angry and relieved that something is creating movement, but will this time really be different? I'm sharing this with you because it's so important that we educate ourselves. I have a friend, my friend Candy Brofel. You're going to hear me talk about her in a minute again. She is the owner and publisher of the New Awakenings magazine. And Candy has worked in the educational system with professors, most respected professors, scholars, educators around the world. And they will tell you, I am here committed to educate you. You can ask me any question. I will educate you. But do not go out into the world and ask someone of another culture or of another color to explain it to you. It is not their job to educate us. It's our job to educate ourselves on the deepness of it. We may believe in our hearts that we aren't inside of racism, and we're not, but because we aren't educated, there's a piece of that is part of that. So you might be wondering, why is she talking about all this? Because we're here discovering ourselves. And I'm going to be a part of some educational pieces for we white folks, so that we can have conversations through movies, books, topics in small groups, so that we can feel what we need to feel and say what we need to say too. So this is a writer downer. The July issue of the Natural Awakenings magazine will show you how to get involved if that's your desire to do so, because I think it's important, so that we're not letting ego come in and say, well, my life matters too. You know, we're not here in competition. We're not here to all have our own cause. We're here as one. We're of oneness. So remembering that we're just starting to lift ourselves up and we're seeing things a little bit differently. And I think about letting our light shine as light workers, and what it would be like to shine our light to such a degree that we could be aware of what, who, and how we're expressing ourselves in the world. I believe that we're here for two reasons. One is to wake up, or as my friend Paige says, get woke, and to be a beneficial presence on the planet. So this is an open-ended opportunity. So when I ask you to stand in the center of the fire with me and not shrink back, I'm asking you to ask me that too. To ask your sphere of influence that question. Because it's no cliche that we're in this together. We are all in this, one way or the other. So whatever action that we decide to take, that we physically take, let's just have it come from the heart. It doesn't mean that physically we're out there doing all kinds of things. Like I said earlier, we need to hold a space for those who are expanding themselves, who find themselves remembering who they are during this time. I mean, gosh, can you imagine what it would be like to wake up in something like this? Not really being woke or studying your spirituality or being connected to it prior to this. They need us to hold that space for them so that they can move forward and find their way, and to not resist what's coming up for us, to allow it to come through, because there's no more important time than the time we're in right now to be together. And I hope that unity will step into this eye of the storm and yet be another high watch. I see so many organizations stepping into responsibility. It's very empowering, and it's expected. It's expected. So this awakening, we just need to get a clear perception on what it is, and our preparedness, because there's more to come, right? We're not asking the question, what next? Please, let's not ask the question, what next? Although there's more to come, but it's how we prepare for it if we prepare for it in a state of acceptance and awareness and knowing that it's for our greater good, and that on the other side of this, there really is new compassion, there's new love, the original us. That's why we're always remembering, because in the state of affairs, we forget that we were something so much different than what we're seeing happening around us. We're not that. Those are circumstances. So acceptance brings you in a place without fear. And I ask you to step into the center of the fire with me. And by the way, the fire, the center of the fire, it's not what you think it is. It's not that red rage. It's not fear-filled. It's not frightening. It's not even hot. It's the blue-violet flame. That's the fire of truth. That's your wisdom. That's your original self, your authenticity. Step into that fire. It's not scary. It's relieving. It's light-filled. So let's all take a holy breath right here. The love, courage, and truth in me meets and greets the love, courage, and truth and the will in you. Namaste.
In this world, there's a whole lot of trouble. In this world, there's a whole lot of pain. In this world, there's a whole lot of trouble, but a whole lot of ground to gain. Why take when you could be given? Why watch as the world goes by? It's a hard enough life to be living. Why walk when you can fly? Bright and an azure sky for the rest of the time that
Indeed, indeed. Why walk when you can fly? Thank you, Claire. Truly one of my favorites musicians we have, and especially on the Zoom, because I would say your Zoom music is almost as good as it is in person. You do a phenomenal job. Thank you. Thank you. And Deb, I have lots of notes here. Great lessons for standing in the fire and not shrinking back. Here are a couple of my highlight notes. Be curious. Language is important. Kindness, compassion, love. We are in the workshop of our life. Lots of aha moments. Abundance of new and old communication. Let's pray it's different. It's our job to educate ourselves. We're here to get woke and be beautiful presence on this planet, and acceptance brings you into a place without fear. Those are all my highlights. Wonderful material. Thank you, Deb. Thank you. All right. In this time of COVID and Zoom, we still have considerable expenses to maintain our beautiful center in anticipation of our eventual return. All of us who are fond of and connected to Unity of the Valley are immensely grateful for your monetary contributions to keep our spiritual community going and thriving, as well as your participation in our services. We affirm the natural expansion of our own prosperity as well as that of Unity of the Valley, as we give our time, talents, and treasure with high vibration of gratitude and an open heart. Let's read the love offering affirmation together, and then please consider your love offering during Claire's musical interlude. After the service, you may want to either prepare a love offering to mail to the center or make a donation from our website at unityofthevalley.mn.org. We thank you in advance for your contributions. Please join me in this love offering affirmation. Together, divine love flowing through me blesses and multiplies all that I give, all that I receive, and all that I am. Thank you, Claire. Beautiful. Beautiful music. Now I invite everyone to join me. Whoop, bear with me. Sorry. Now I invite everyone to join me in blessing all contributions and good of any kind so generously given to support Unity of the Valley this week. Please join me. We affirm that God is our source and we are the channels. We bless our gifts given in love that serve our spiritual family and flow out into our community and beyond. We are prosperous and blessed with abundant good. Thank you, Mother, Father, God. All right, I have three announcements for you this morning. First of all, our weekly Tuesday morning guided meditation is available live at 11 a.m. or recorded on our Unity of the Valley Facebook page. This coincides with the same meditation given at Unity Village. Special thanks to prayer chaplains Sherry Johnson, Kathleen Navarro-Larson, and Judy McInnes, who lead these meditations. If you'd like to guide the meditation live on Facebook, please do contact Sherry, Kathleen, or Judy, or call the office and a prayer chaplain will get back to you. Recordings of both Deborah Engel's excellent Zoom webinars titled Getting Past Stuck, The Shortest Route to Living with Joy, and Connecting with Your Spirit Guides are now available for only $15 each. The links to buy them are in the buzz, on our website, and on our Unity of the Valley Facebook page. Heads up that Deborah Engel will be speaking Sunday, July 5th on the topic of real freedom. Deborah is a teacher of A Course in Miracles. Take advantage of this opportunity to hear her next Sunday. She's excellent. Also, be aware that today's speaker, Deb Mclean and Anna Fortaliti, are offering a workshop on Wednesday, July 8th from 7 to 8:15 p.m. The workshop is titled Align to Thrive in Changing Times. Debbie's partner in this virtual experience is Anna Fortaliti of Postural Healing LLC. She's a certified postural alignment specialist and advanced exercise therapist who's been helping people heal from chronic pain and improve function and performance for 10 years. The experience will include breath, postural alignment exercises, and meditation experience designed to create more balance, peace, and flow in all areas of your being. The registration fee of $30 includes complimentary gifts and a recording of the session. Watch for an email with a registration link or check your buzz and our website later this week. Let's now move on to our prayer for protection. Please join me in this slightly rearranged version of the prayer for protection. Thank you to Herb Hoke for discovering this combined version at Unity Tucson and suggesting it. Please let us know how you like it in the chat box after the service. If you'd rather, we can go back to our usual way of dividing it up. As always, we appreciate your feedback. Please join me. The light of God surrounds me. I am that light. The love of God enfolds me. I am that love. The power of God protects me. I am that power. The presence of God watches over me. I am that presence. Wherever I am, God is. Wherever God is, I am. And all is well. And finally, my quote for the week, life, even in the hardest times, is full of moments to savor. They will not come this way again, not in this way, by Paula Reinhardt. We will conclude with Claire in our closing song, I Am the Thinker. But first, thanks again for joining us. Please be well and stay connected with Unity. If you'd like to be part of the Zoom social after the service, just stay logged into this meeting and say hi to your Unity friends and guests. Take it away, Claire.
Thank you. And once again, the words are up on the screen, so that means there's no reason not to sing.
Changes things that shape my life. I am the thinker who thinks the thought. I have the power to change my life. And if you ask me who am I am wisdom, I am light. So much more that meets the eye. And keeping this in mind, changes things that shape my life. I am the thinker who thinks the thought. I have the power to change my life. And if you ask me what am I am stillness, I am joy. So much more than meets the eye. I'm keeping this in mind. Shape my life. I am the thinker who thinks the thought. I have the power to change my life. I can choose to be
Oh my gosh, what a great service, everybody.